All right, so today we are bringing you how to repair your home-based desktop or your office desktops when it stops working all of a sudden. So this is a ThinkPad Lenovo i3. It's a tower PC. So now when we come to the back, the first thing you have to do when opening a computer is to notice one thing. First, you look at the side where you have the ports. Now over here you have this side, the up and the down, left and right. Now you realize that you have this part which has most of the ports, the USB ports and the mounts and other ports. Now this side is where you have the fan. So to open a computer, if you are confused whether you have to open from this side because there's a screw here or you should open from this side, always check the back and see where the ports are. The side that has the ports tells you where the motherboard is embedded. So the motherboard is over here at this side, so you don't have to open this side. This is the side you have to open. So now you have a screw here. All you have to do is to open it up. Once you open it out, once you take it out, now the next thing is to whether to pull it out or pull it up. Now what you have to do is to check if there's anything holding it. Most of the times it's like this. You just have to make this straight and then put your hand here and pull it back down. When you do that, it gives you a sound, then you can open it. So now when we open this, realize this is a system. It's a bit dusty. It's just having a lot of dust in it. It's having a lot of dust in it, and the most dangerous thing about dust is that it enters the CPU fan, it goes through the heat sink, and sometimes gets clogged inside. Sometimes it gets clogged inside the processor, and the processor doesn't need to have dust. So what you have to do is to get the dust out of the system, and it's always good to have a blower handy. That makes it much easier. But in case you don't have a blower at home and you can't use a blower, we'll show you how to clean this dust free. Once you're able to get dust out, your machine should be able to work. If it just stops working all of a sudden, that is the first thing you have to do, get the dust out. Then we try other troubleshootings and get it done. So now if we want to open up and take everything out of this system, it's very simple. It's not complicated. A lot of people get scared. First, you have to take the powerhouse out. So what we do is to come to the back and the power supply. So you unscrew it, you realize it has some screws. You take the screws out of it. Once you unscrew it, so what you need is a screwdriver, either star or flat. Now you add this to the back, you place it somewhere safe. Now once you do it, you just push it inside. Once you push it inside, it goes inside like this. Then it's stuck here. All you have to do is to shift it this way and put it out. Now before pulling this out, you have to take out all the connectors on the board. The first is the P1. So let's put this back and take out the connectors. This is the P1. That's it. You have to take the first power cable out. This is the second major power cable, which is P2. Take it out. Then the power cables are connected to both the hard drive and also the CD drive. So what you have to do is to take this power out of the CD drive and this power out of the hard drive. Now once you are done, you realize the power cables all of a sudden comes out. So you have your motherboard power supply out. You just have to dust it a bit. When you dust it, you are done. Now the next thing is to take, these are data cables that connect both the CD-ROM and the hard drive. So you take this cable out, you take this cable out. Now you look for where it's connected on the board, you slightly press it and remove it. You press it, there's this knob that you press to release and pull it out. So you take these cables too and you place them somewhere safe. Now you are left with two fans. Okay, this board is not the original board that was initially inside. Is a new board that was used to replace the old board that got damaged. So I'll be showing you the difference between an original board and a replaced boards. This will help you when you are buying a PC to check whether it was a new build. If they say it's Lenovo, is it a Lenovo board that's in it, or they just use a Lenovo case and they place in a different board. I'll show you how to figure that one too. So now the next thing we have to take out of this system is the fan. It's been blowing a lot of dust and it has accumulated a lot of dust, so you have to take it out. So all you have to do is, this is where the heatsink and the processor align, so you just screw it out again, and you screw it out again. Good. Once you take this out, you see the dust. Just look at the dust. All this are dust. Let me show you some. See, this is dust. It's supposed to be dust clean, and just have a look at all the dust that has clogged here. We've got to get this dust out of this machine because it's now interfering with the processor. There's no way this machine can work if it's being flooded with dust like this. So we just press this and pull this out, and we have to now clean this. So all you have to do is, if you have a blower, the dust out. Now the next thing you have to do is to get this RAM out. So you just release the RAM, place it somewhere safe. Now the next thing we have to do is to, these are the front USB cable, so we pull it out, and this is we also pull this ones two out. Now you pull this one two out. The next thing you have to do now is to get, okay, you take this ones two out, and you basically made the motherboard free from any connections and any cable. So the next thing you have to do is unscrew it. So what we do is now just unscrew the board. Now we are unscrewing the board because we have to blow it. If we have a blower, we don't need to take this board out. You just have to keep it in place and use a blower to do it. But here's the case: you are in the house, your machine has just stopped working. You open it and you realize it has been flooded with so much dust, and you want to get the dust out. This is how to do it. You have to take the board out and now clean the board itself. So the best thing you have to do is, now immediately you are done, the board comes. Now this is the board screw holder. It's actually for the processor. You have to notice its position and make sure you fit it in well when you are fixing the fan. The fan actually fits in it through the processor, so you have to make sure you fit it right, else you wouldn't be able to fix this fan if there's shift somewhere under the board. Now this is our board, very dusty, as you can see, so dusty. Let's see, it's just filled with dust. It's just dusty. So all you have to do is, first thing is, you have to do the first level dust wipe, and the first level dust wipe is to just run your brush. You need a soft brush, run it over the board to do the first dusting. So now we first clean it, then the next thing is to take the processor out, but we won't do that now yet. Now don't capture them out. Just focus, come closer. Okay, so we just keep cleaning this. Okay, so now you see the board is as new as it could be. So this is an MSI board built in a Lenovo machine. So if you want to check whether you are getting an original motherboard, you have to open the machine and check that is truly the original motherboard, or it's not just another board that has been built in, so that you know you are buying a correct machine with a correct motherboard. All right, so anytime you are buying a desktop and you ask the person, is it the original board that's in it, or you just replace it with a different board? And this is how you can verify. So you come to the back and you clean it as well. Now these are traces of connections. You don't have to use a metal here, you don't have to have any metal scratch here. You just have to use a soft brush like I'm using. You clean everything, you clean everything. Put 50 CDs in your CD-ROM, and it goes inside the CD-ROM to spoil the whole machine, and you can't make warranty. 50 pesos. Why? As if it's a CD. We'll cut that place. Don't worry. Say your story about this. And we'll cut that place. Alright, so now that we have a clean board, we can take the processor out and also clean it, because definitely there will be that. Now this is a zero insertion force processor. What it means is it's not the old type of processor where you have to fit the pins into the holes and get yourself worried. All you have to do is to pull this out and it takes it up, and you just pick up your processor. Now the only thing you can clean here is this place. You just clean it with a soft brush. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to clean this place. This place is pins that are arranged. Immediately anything metal or brush enters here, it lifts them, gets clogged, you have damaged the processor. This machine won't work again. So when you get here, all you have to do is just blow air. If you have a blower, that's it. And then you put it back slightly, gently, and you push this back, it goes down, you are done. So now if there's any other dusting you have to do, and do that. So basically this is an empty machine now. Had a blower, that would have been simple. Now if you want to clean, open this part, you just have to lift this, lift this, lift this, and lift that, and that's, you realize there's just also it. You can just use this. And you clean it. Come here to and you clean it. So once you are done with this, you have to now put everything back again. Now this is very clean. This is very clean. There's nothing in it. So first is you have to fix this. This came out. Now you fix it from inside. So you push it in like this. Then the next thing is you've got to put this right under the hose. So you got to make sure it's firmly seated. Now this side has to face where so make sure it just aligns with it, right? Good. And you ensure the holder is placed directly under the hose for the fan to fit. Okay, so what I normally advise is you can just fix this here like this and get it in here. So all you have to do is hold it in place and screw one knob down. Screw another knob down. You don't have to tighten it hard at this stage. You just need a connection. Okay. Good. So now you can put the whole thing down. Good. So now that it's fitted, just bring your pins and screw them back. So we finished cleaning the motherboard and the processor. Most of the time, if there's dust in the processor, your machine will stop working. All you have to do is to get the dust out and your machine will be back. You don't really need to take it to the hardware store to get it fixed. They will do the same thing for you that you could have done for yourself, and they will take money from you. So you save yourself some cash. Now, this is the processor connector. You look for where it is and you connect it. The connector for mine is here. So you always ensure it goes in well. Now this cable isn't long enough to come here. It means I have to turn this way, so I have to take it out and turn it a bit. So let me do that. But this time around I have the accurate position of the holder down there, so I don't have to worry that much of taking it out. All I have to do is fix it. All right. Okay. So you apply a little pressure and you And what I'm doing is to align. It's shifted, and once it's shifted, you got to align it well at the exact position. If you can't align it, you just have to take it back and do it as I did. Now, anytime you see some pins not in alignment, it means they've been pressed wrongly. So now you make sure this goes here in this direction. So you don't have to screw it all the way out. Just screw it 1, 2, and you are done. That's it. So normally you just have to shorten it by folding it like this and done. So we can now slightly drop this. Now you drop it with this side to where the back. So you always come to align it and then it's gone. So now all you do now is to fix your screws and you are good to go. Now, one thing about computers is that you should never apply too much force. If you are trying to do something and it's not working, it's just telling you it's not the right thing. I was trying to use this screw to fix this, but it wasn't going. Realize this is a bit bigger than this. This is smaller, this is bigger. This is for the power supply. It's the same, they look identical, but they are different in sizes. So this isn't fitting onto the board and I don't have to force it, else I'll damage the holes in the screw knob. So always don't apply force when something isn't going. It means you aren't doing it right. You just have to find the right way, and everything will work without zero application of force. As for pressure, yes, but force not really necessary. Alright, so we've fitted this. Now the next thing is to finish up tightening this. You've got to tighten it so it can't go again. That's it. Then the processor will be well fitted to the board. Good. Good. So you have it fitted now. Now the next thing you have to do is to clean your RAM. Most often when dust also gets onto the teeth of the RAM, the machine wouldn't work. You've got to clean it, and you've got to clean the holder too, and then put it back and you are done. Now realize these cables. I'm going to show you what these cables are. This is the power cable. It goes way beyond here and comes all the way here. That is it. That is it. That is the power cable. So you are supposed to plug this on the power and you just have to find it nicely like this. That is it. That's it. Now you realize this is longer than the knob here. Actually, because this isn't the original motherboard for this, the connectors and the sizes are different. For mine, you realize this is longer but this is short, but it's the same thing. You have 1 2 3 4 and there's an empty hole here. That is the empty part of the pins that is here. So you fit it with the 2 to the 2, wherever it matches, that is it. So this ends here like this, but on the board it's slightly longer than the board. You see, it's longer than the board because this was not designed for this board, but we are using a different board, but it fits it perfectly looking at the ports that are available. So that is it. So that's the power board. And another way to identify this, if you are using a different board, is to look for the writing. You have CFP, that's computer front power. CFP, computer front power, and that is what connects this to the power over here. Realize they have the same cabling, so that is this cable. This is how to identify your cables if you are changing your motherboard. Perhaps your motherboard got melted and you've bought a new motherboard and you want to replace it. This is how to replace a different motherboard to a different system on your machine and get it still working perfectly. Now whenever we are trying to fix something and it's not going, don't add force, else you break the pins. Now I've turned it in the wrong orientation, so it's not going. So now I've realized it and I've corrected it. Voila, that is it. Now the next thing you've got to fix is this. Now one of this is the USB front cable and one of this is a USB audio cable. Now when you come to the board, you see speaker here. This is speaker. Now our speaker is somewhere in here.